Here at the D3Hoops.com Classic in Las Vegas, I'm Pat Coleman, joined by Brian Niemuth, head coach of Simpson. His team 0-2, but a really hard-fought battle in a couple of games here at the Classic. First of all, a close loss to Lewis and Clark in Game 1, and then taking the number 23 ranked team, Puget Sound, to overtime, and also doing it all without Nori Morrow, who got hurt at the end of the first period. I really thought that you guys were going to be sunk at that point.
Well, I tell you what, we haven't played without her this year, and she's our leading scorer and rebounder. And yeah, I was a little nervous, but I tell you what, our team really stepped up.
They did. I really felt like you guys are down by 8. She shoots those free throws at the end of the first period, and she's clearly in too much pain to continue. But your team came out focused and intense, and you guys made up that deficit. And I saw the enthusiasm with which you guys came off the floor at the end of the second period and then went into the locker room at overtime as a kind of a sign of what you guys realized you could accomplish.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a moment where we figured out as a team that we could play without our best player and still be a pretty competitive team. And I thought we gained a lot of confidence with that today.
In the first game against Lewis and Clark, you guys really struggled from the outside, 5 of 26 from three-point range. Really a different story in the second game against Puget Sound. What was the difference?
I think we were just more comfortable in the arena here. We don't play in a wide open space like that where you don't have a shooting background. Yeah. But we're also kind of streaky. We can be really good one night and not so good the next night. So it's kind of typical for us.
You've been the coach at Simpson for as long as we've had D3Hoops.com and several years before that. But I remember, I think the first thing I knew about Simpson women's basketball was how, you like to go deep into your bench and play tons of players, and clearly that has not changed.
No, I think for us the philosophy is that you play hard, and when you get tired we go with somebody else, and it's worked for us. We've been very successful with it. This year we're a young team and they're trying to learn our style a little bit, but haven't changed much over 30 years.
Bunch of kids from Iowa on your roster, and of course a bunch of kids from Iowa in your school. And there's one on your roster that kind of sticks out. And for Amarissa Rayleigh to come to you guys from Texas, how did that come about?
Yeah, we got a hold of her name through a recruiting service, and we had contact with her. She was interested. She came up for a visit, liked the school. This was the first time she'd seen snow, so that was a good experience for her. But definitely a quality player, and when we saw her on tape, we were very excited to get her to campus, and when she got to campus, we were lucky. She liked the campus, and it's worked out really well.
An all-tournament selection for us, and 14 points in the game today, 3 of 6 from three-point range. Is the recruiting service something you guys use a lot?
It hasn't been. We've tended to recruit the Iowa area mainly, but we're trying to branch out now. We've got Texas and Arizona on our scope right now where we're trying to get more players from.
So the conference got a little bit bigger this year, added Nebraska Wesleyan, and that means that conference play started a little bit earlier for you guys. And how has it changed so far, the kind of feeling of the conference season and the rest of the regular season?
Yeah, it does change it. I didn't think it would until I experienced it, but we played 2 games before conference, and it's tough to get ready for conference and then go back to non-conference and then jump back into conference. I would have liked the conference all in a row, but because of the addition and having 9 schools now, and we're thrilled that Nebraska Wesleyan is in our conference. They bring a great academic and athletic institution to our conference, so we'll make it work.
Nate Oakland talked about with us in his post-game interview the other day about the fact that he basically treated these games like conference games for his kids.
Well, I think you have to, because you're going back and you're jumping right back into conference, so you can't really be playing around here. You want to, first of all, you want to try and win, but you want to try and make sure that you're going full throttle when you play your next game, which will be a conference game. The competition out here has been tremendous. I'm thrilled with the trip.
Well, and you guys came in with a 3-5 record, and you gave a top 25 team and then another team that was 7-2. You gave them 2 really good games.
Yeah, I mean, we've played an unbelievable schedule. We've got 4 losses to top 25 teams, and so I'm hoping that it helps us when we get to the main part of our conference season.
Yeah, and the Iowa Conference for women's basketball, I think, has gotten markedly better over the course of the last couple of years. Wartburg had that great run a couple of years ago. I think Amanda Bailey has made Luther back into what they were maybe about 10 years or so ago. That conference got really difficult.
Yeah, it has. I think, for me, I think the basketball in our conference is it's physical. It's up tempo, and it's a fun style to watch, and I'm sure for the ladies to play. I'm very proud of what our teams are capable of doing.
Well, Coach, thanks for coming out. We're glad to see you. First of all, actually, personally, from a personal standpoint, I'm glad that you were able to make the trip this year. I know we were a little worried about you when you weren't able to travel with your team last time around.
Yeah, last time I got sick on the plane, and they took me off in Denver and sent me home, and I was dehydrated. I had a flu, which I didn't know, and because I had a heart condition, they weren't taking any chances. So, yeah, it was kind of exciting to actually make it out here and see what a great tournament it is.
Well, thanks for joining us. And that's Brian Niemuth, head coach of Simpson women's basketball here at the D3Hoops.com Classic.